Hey guys, and welcome back to another week here at Jams. I hope you're having a great week. I know this last weekend was absolutely beautiful and we got a little bit of a taste of what summer is going to look like. I got outside and I went on some bike rides and runs, so I hope you guys did as well and you just got outside and got a little bit of taste of what summer is going to look like. But before we even jump into our message, I have some updates for you guys. Now, you may have gotten an email from Brian and I about this thing called the State of the Youth, and you're like, what is that? Well, tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Brian and I are going to be giving a little bit of a message about what Redeemer Youth is going to look like in the coming months, and in regards to camps and other ministry events that we have during the summer. And it's going to be aired on YouTube and Instagram TV at 7 p.m. tomorrow night, Thursday, April 30th, 2020. So please, if you are a part of our youth, if you go to our camps, whatever it may be, please check this video out. It will have important information that we all want you guys to hear and to know about, so you are aware. Now, also, besides the State of the Youth address that's going to be happening tomorrow night, we changed this video and our message up a little bit. If you noticed, last week we had worship, and that was at the end of this video, but it was all one video. Well, we wanted to give you guys the option to engage with the worship if you wanted to, or if you don't want to, you don't need to watch the video. So we split our message and our worship videos into two. So we will have a message video and a worship video. The worship video will appear at the end of this one on your screen, and all you have to do is click it and you will be able to engage with our worship team and a brand new song that we have prepared for you. So I would highly encourage that you guys check that video out. And now I think this brings us to what we're all here for, the message and our series, My Big Mouth. Now, as humans, we all have big mouths. We say things that sometimes we immediately regret, or we say rude things and we're just like, I should not have said that. Or we tell somebody about something and you're like, I probably shouldn't have told you that because it was, a secret. But overall, we have big mouths. We let things slip. But what do we do when that happens? And that's what this whole series is about. It's about how do we react and how do we avoid having a big mouth? Last week we talked about throwing shade or gossip and how to react to that, or how to avoid gossiping about another person. Well, this week we're talking about clapping back. Now, if you don't know what clapping back is, it's also known as like talking back, being a smart aleck, being sassy, having a negative attitude towards another person. You're clapping back at them. To give you a picture, I want you to listen to this story. You're at the lunch table. We're back at school, and you have lunch with your friends every single day, and sometimes there's people there that maybe aren't your friends, but they're at your lunch table every day. So, and one of these people who maybe is not your friend, but you eat lunch with them, begins to make fun of your shirt, and they're calling it stupid, calling it ugly. What's your go-to reaction? You want to say something mean or make fun of them right back at them. That would be clapping back. For our own personal example of clapping back is when I was in middle school, when my parents told me I needed to do something, or they said something that I didn't agree with, or that just was maybe I thought was mean, or whatever it may be, I would often want to say something mean back to them. Be rude, clap back, talk back, be sassy, just overall have a negative attitude because I didn't want to do it. That would be considered clapping back. But overall, those two ideas, or those two stories, give you an idea of what I mean when I say clap back. Our natural reaction as humans is when somebody makes fun of us or says something we don't agree with, is we want to either tell them they're wrong or we want to hurt them back, say something mean. But we can see in our verse today that that is not how we are supposed to respond. When somebody says something we don't agree with, or something mean or rude to us, we are not supposed to clap back, give them sass, or give them an attitude. I know I've wanted to do this multiple times in my life, but we will find in our verse, which comes from the book of James, that that's not how we should respond. Now, a little background on the book of James. It's written by James, the brother of Jesus. So we're dealing with some big names here. And James is writing to some Jewish Christians who are facing trials from other people, such as the Romans, other Christians, and even some Jews. And they're arguing and fighting within one another about social things, about their faith. Overall, there's a lot of disagreement between these Jewish Christians. They're clapping back at each other on a daily basis. And this is what James is writing to them about. And this is what he tells them to do in regards to clapping back. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You can find this in verse 19 through 21. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. So get rid of all the filth and evil in your lives, and humbly accept the word God has planted in your hearts. For it has the power to save your souls. Again, this is a lot to take in from James, like last week. So let's dive in and to see step by step what he's trying to say to us. Verse 19, understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to get angry. Notice, James does not say, clap back. When somebody says something mean to you or something you don't agree with, you're not supposed to say you're wrong or say something mean back to them, make fun of them. You're not supposed to do that. No, instead he puts a step-by-step process of how we are supposed to react instead of clapping back. Number one, be quick to listen. Turn on our listening ears. So often somebody says something mean to us, we tune it out, or says something we just disagree with, is we turn it out. I'm not going to listen to you. Yeah, nobody wants to listen to somebody make fun of them. I get that. But maybe just listening to it, you can find out why they're making fun of you, why they said that comment, why they disagree with it. That's our first step. Be quick to listen. Number two, slow to speak. Our main reaction is to clap back, like I said earlier, and that's to interrupt them, tell them they're wrong, or say a mean comment back to them. Your shirt is ugly. Your shirt is stupid. It's comments like that. But yet, what does James say? Be slow to speak. Don't interrupt them while they're talking. This builds up being quick to listen. It's very hard to listen to somebody and tune on to what they're saying if you're interrupting them. Don't always say the first thing that comes to your mind. That's when we fall into that big mouth problem, where we say something we don't regret, is when we are not slow to speak. Step number 3, slow to get angry. Now, it's very common that somebody makes fun of us or somebody doesn't agree with us and we get angry. But yet, James says slow to get angry. If it does make you mad or does make you angry, that's common. Just don't let it consume you, take you over. And verse 20 explains why we should not let that anger take us over, why we should be slow to get angry. And it says this, verse 20, human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. Getting angry over what another person says, or whether it's mean and clapping back, and that does nothing for God. It does not produce anything He needs. And if it does not produce anything for God, it does not produce anything for us. And since it does not produce anything for God and us, then we should rid it from our lives. For verse 21 says, so get rid of all the filth and evil in your lives. Humbly accept the word of God that has been planted in your heart. For it has the power to save your souls. We need to get rid of that clapping back, that filth and that evil in our lives, that sass, that attitude, whatever you want to call it. We need to get rid of it. And we need to humbly live with what God, humbly live and accept what God has placed in our hearts. Because that has the power to save us. And that word placed in our hearts that we need to humbly live by is Jesus, who taught us to love God, to love others. For it was Jesus who saved us, and his love that saved us from certain death. So instead of having a big mouth and clapping back at people when you disagree with them or they make fun of you, we should follow the step-by-step process that James tells us. Number 1, be quick to listen. Number 2, be slow to speak. Number 3, be slow to get angry. And then even though every part of our body wants to clap back, to say something mean, to say they're wrong, we need to get rid of that. Because that is not the word that God has been placed in our hearts. That word has been placed is love. And we are not loving when we clap back. And that love in Jesus and in our hearts through him has the power to save us and the others around us. Imagine, instead of clapping back at a person, you show love to them. You're like, even though you're making fun of me, I still love you. Imagine what that would do. That would kind of shock some people. Love has the power to fix anything. Jesus has the power to fix anything. The love that is found in him. Remember last week I said it has the opportunity to fix broken relationships, not only between God and you, but you and others. It does so much more than clapping back at somebody. It's just love. And that wraps up our series, My Big Mouth. And I hope you enjoyed this message about what we should do instead of clapping back, and about last week's message about gossip, and how we can avoid having a big mouth, or what do we do when we do have a big mouth. So I hope you enjoyed it and got something from it. So please let us know also if you did in the comment section, or email, or call us, or in Snapchat, whatever it may be. Let us know. We want to hear from you. I also want to remind you that, remember, tomorrow is the State of the Youth Address, and that will be on YouTube at 7 p.m. along with Instagram Live, or TV, excuse me. So please make sure to check that out. And we can't wait for you guys to hear and to share with you what we have planned for the next couple of months. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I can't wait to see you again. So this is Nate signing off, and I'll see you next time.